Ta-da! Just had a bit of a shock. An entire seat box, excluding that bit, 600 quid for the parts, including that, plus delivery. These steel under seat boxes, as opposed to the outer, 100 quid, 120 quid, one each side. So it's basically the end panels are 50 quid each from one place I've found, or I think about 30 quid from YRM, about 30 quid. The degree of damage is that I think I'm definitely going to give it a whiz over with the grinder and see what it looks like. But it looks as if it's both end pieces. So the two end pieces will cost me 60 quid. And then one box. So I think it's just under 200 quid to get the repair pieces. I don't want to try and make that. I could, but getting it right and square, it wouldn't be as good. I wouldn't do it with folding it. I'd do it with seam weld, welding the pieces so I knew I got the sizes and shapes right. So whatever I seem to do when I fold stuff, it ends up skew with. Well, I'm just going to remove the various bits that I think they're galvanised, and then these will be the coating that Land Rover used, and I can't remember what it is. I don't even know what that one's for. I think that's the lock for the seat cover. So I want to take those two off, take that off, although that could actually stay on, probably leave that on, take that off. That's got to come off because the gate is knackered. Just start prepping it up for being able to smooth it all off and get it ready for painting. I've ordered 2 new ends and I've ordered the box for the near side. But I'm not going to take these ends off, which are spot welded here. I'm not going to take them off till the new ones come. So I just want to check whether the holes are, whether the new ones are for spot welding or riveting. I'll rivet them, but anyway, waffle. New toy. A bit more progress, stripping off the paint. Getting there now. I've got the parts ready to rebuild it. So I'm just taking off what I can get easy access to. Got a bit of scraping to do down there, but I think there's some kind of like underseal mastic underneath it. That's been an absolute pain getting it off. But we're getting there now. So it's just cleaning around these 2 corners. These have got a cap over them, so I'm not overly fussed. But yeah, just trying to work out what all the different holes are. These seem to be, I don't know whether they're floor plate or I think they bolt the box down. I think that's where the clips go on for the floor plate. Well, maybe not, don't know. Anyway, got a bit of work to do to finish it and then we'll rivet it up. Well, the next bit's the battery compartment, which sits under the near side. It's took me a while to get my head around how it all goes together, but that bit's rivets on like that, and then that bit goes on like that. What was confusing me was that's the tool side, that must be at the front. Bugger, it's the wrong way around. It's not. All of this bit sits below. My only concern is the room on the bloody chassis. I mean, it says it does, and it's I would have thought a generic part, but you just don't know, do you? Anyway, I've peeled the plastic off now, so it's not going back. Hey. It looks like that, so it's 17.5 inches from here to here, which takes us across, so I think that's how it goes together. So I'm going to get my pot rivet gun, knit those up, and then I'm assuming it can go in from underneath, which means I don't have to, I really want to get that thing assembled now. So, having a think about how to do these rivets here. If I'll get you one of me heads. Because of the size of the bloody... would you believe it, me bloody heater's having a rattle. That hole's miles too big, and whilst I can cover it with the head of the rivet, what I'm thinking is if I mark it from the underside through, drill and put them through from the outside, I can use some body filler to fill that for what it is. And then I'll probably end up putting corner protectors on it anyway, so it'll be all covered. But I think that's going to be the straightforward way of doing it. I just think these are a bit tight on size, and I'm not going up another size. The heater's just on shutdown mode, so if you turn it off with the little controller, it kills the fuel pump, and then it monitors the temperature of the unit, and if the temperature rises above a given rate, it increases the fan speed until the temperature is safe. Otherwise, all the plastic surround melts, which is why you have to run the thing off a battery or have some kind of uninterruptible power supply for shutdown. That's the only reason. Anyway, it goes off like a jet plane when it gets excited. Anyway, I've just put the box underneath, fitted it up, and that line there corresponds basically to that row of rivets there, and they pin, that's an L bracket all the way along here, rigidity bracket. So I'm going to knock them out, we'll drill them out, and then we'll use those holes and drill those and then rivet it once it's in position. Meanwhile, I've just got to basically decide what I'm going to do in terms of which bit to pot rivet it up first. I'll probably do the two brackets there. The problem I've got is I'm lining it up on these holes, which are the seat bracket holes, where there's a, I think there was a captive bolt in, or captive nut, one or the other, and I've got to drill this side of it where the old spot welds were. So I've got to spot weld it through and just make sure I've got meat both sides to attack. Do that, probably put 4 in, and then next job will be do the outside pieces. I'm still umming and ahhing what to do with these, whether to try and rivet with them or not. I just don't think it's a good enough finish. Yeah, as in strong enough, there won't be enough metal around the rivet. Anyway, deal with that one probably tomorrow, because dog needs a walk again. So roughly that's where it sits. I must admit, I'm quite impressed with it. It would have been nice to seam weld these joints up, but I think if I go at it with my TIG torch, I'll end up bloody distorting it and it won't go back in. So I could either rivet it all in place and then do it, or use a tube of mastic sealer. Probably do the latter. But yeah, that'll make the whole thing a lot more rigid. I'm seriously considering buying another one for the driver's side, just as a storage box. It's either that or I make something up just really simple, like a square. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so this is where I've got to basically find room now, stick some pot rivets through. You can see the damage. I had even thought about just welding on a thin plate, just to help give it a bit more meat. No. Reet. Well, that's me done on the building it back up. I've got the box in now, so it picks up on the spot weld In fact, I think the rivets down there and along there. Picks it up along the same along here, and then these are new along the back, and then you can see the new ones down the inside. Yeah, it goes in nicely. It's a bit of a faff because that point there has to go through that reinforcing bar, the new end, and the top of the flange on here. So yeah, and it's an alignment. You really want to get everything right. So you've got about 4 clamps in the way and need 6 pairs of hands, but it's doable. I've managed on my own. The electric riveter, absolute bonus. Just remember to keep the battery charged, because I couldn't work out why it weren't going ka-chonk. It was just going. I thought that's odd. Anyway, battery flat. Yeah, so I've had a chat with Paintman Paints, who supplied me with the paint that I'm going to be putting on it, and they've recommended I think it's Isopropyl P38 for a filler suitable for aluminium. So that's what I'm going to do with these holes. Carefully fill them, probably hand sand them flush. There's a few there. There's a couple. That one on the back there. The only regret I've got, if anything, was I should have bloody welded these bits. I've put the rivets back through where I drilled out the spot welds, and it just looks a mess. It is out of sight. I'm not that upset about it. That one looks a bit better because there were a few more spot welds. You can see the ones I've filled in. I just picked up others. But as I say, it's all out of bloody sight, so no point in getting anal about it. Right, diesel heater's done my absolute star. I've just got the battery on a trickle charge today. Get it back up to 14 volts, and jobs are good. And it's barely used any diesel. It's certainly used less than 2 quid's worth, which is a litre, and that's for what I've had it on about 8.5. It's about 8.5, 9 hours over the last few days. That shed's drying out, which is a bonus. Right, I think we'll get this one stitched up and call it done, and get a video together. Tatty bye.